165 at level 5 and just be able to just rain death upon the enemy team, especially with that 6% of HP taken out from level 5 Bio Arcane Barrage. You could be seeing just Cogmall just melt through the rest of M5. But M5 is starting to go really early game centric because they want to make sure that Cogmall does not get to that stage, and that's something that M5 does very, very well.
Yeah, and actually, this is pretty exciting. He's kind of looking at Nidalee. I don't know if this will actually be locked in, but if this is Midley, I will scream a little bit like a little girl, because Midley is like one of the coolest things to watch, I think. One of the most entertaining champions. And then they switch it over to Karthus, which is like one of the most boring champions to watch because he just sits and farms all day. But Alex Ich has come into this tournament and has been consistently farming amazingly. And he's been playing Karthus, Orianna. He's always hit like the, I don't know, like the 300 CS mark at 30-minute mark pretty much every single time, and he's been really, really strong with that, especially if the other team can't actually turn onto him. But they have actually gone and straight locked in the Diana, which is a very, very good pickup against Karthus. Maybe not so much early on, but later on, post level 6, Diana completely crushes Karthus in most situations. The only bad thing about it is if you jump into Karthus and he has Wall of Pain up, he has Exhaust up, pretty much he has all his cooldowns up, then you can actually suddenly find the situation twisted around and you're suddenly trying to escape from him instead of the other way around. So could be a little bit dangerous, but this is a really nice front line for this Cogmore, protect the Cogmore composition. And I was about to say, actually, I thought Genja would pick Ashe up as soon as I saw that Janna, because I remember back in the day when it used to be the Ashe Janna composition, and they seem to be just going full old school on this one in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and especially picking up that CV, going to be able to try to map out where the jungler is going, and Ghosted Pepper just trying to theory craft a little bit, try to figure out if CV is going to be the best choice, maybe try to break something new down bottom, because we haven't seen CV in months.
Yeah.
Maybe even, I think it sometimes could be even close to a year. We actually haven't seen CV. It could be just that long. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I mean, if anyone can fact check it real quick to see if when CV was nerfed, I think that was when everyone just kind of moved away from it and started getting a little bit more aggressive bottom. And it hasn't really been used too much, but I could definitely see it be very useful, because a lot of times bottom lane can get compromised by jungler ganks left and right. If you have that CV, place it down when you think that there's going to be a jungler gank happening, can just avoid it right away. You have just great control, great vision over where the jungler is moving. You can always spot him if you hit it with the CV, especially on such a low cooldown. You're going to be able to just kind of move where the jungler is moving with the CV, so you can try to plot and pick exactly where he's going to end up going. And then you can pretty much help not only your lane, but the other two lanes as well.
Yeah, it's so useful, and you see Moscow Fire using it to great extent in these matches. They're definitely using their kind of old knowledge of the game and bring it into the kind of new meta. The CVs have been hitting the enemy jungle constantly. They know exactly where he is at all times, and it just helps Diamondprox do his job even better, because as we talked about before, Diamondprox is one of the best counter junglers in the entire game, and if he has full vision of where the other jungler is pretty much all the time, then it's going to make his job very, very simple, to say the least. He can just be on the opposite side of the jungle, stealing away camps left and right. And we'll see if that comes into context this game. I mean, it very well could, because Shen jungle, very, very predictable compared to Lee Sin. So honestly, I think Diamondprox can definitely take advantage of this one if he plays it outright.
Especially, too, if they're able to push out a little bit. It's going to be hard Karthus just trying to push out on Diana, because Diana's just going to be able to just move in, try to deal as much damage to Karthus, and maybe try to burst him down and get a quick kill. But if Darien is able to control top lane against Yamato, then you can see Darien just try to come in and try to invade on the Shen. And if he's able to pick up that early kill on Shen, Shen is going to be really, really, really far behind, and Diamondprox will have almost complete control of the jungle. And especially with Diamondprox Lee Sin, you know you're going to be in for a bad time.
Yeah, for sure. It's not very great. But one of the big things I have about this team is just, I think they'll be able to get to Cogmore still. I think they have enough to be able to knock this front line out of the way and kind of ignore them, because they have Jace with the cool knockback, and obviously the leap is kind of a gap closer as well. They have Enchanted Crystal Arrow, they have Janna who can just knock the front line out of the way, Lee Sin can just blink over the enemy team. I'm sure Alex Ich will just burn his flash to get on top of the Cogmore, and I actually don't know if they can actually protect him for that long. The more dangerous thing, in fact, is actually the laning phase for him, because Janna Ashe is definitely one of the best poke lanes. Like, the shield plus volley constantly, really, really hard to deal with. It's going to rely a lot on We Will Failure actually here to really hit those skill shots on Zyra and really match the enemy team in poke. Otherwise, Kog'Maw's definitely going to fall behind and farm under his tower.
And here's the interesting thing, too, is that they know that Kog'Maw could run Cleanse as well if they picked up any hard CC. And a really hard CC that they picked up was Ashe with Enchanted Crystalline Arrow. And if you look at the same thing, too, you look at they have Jace as a knockback, Janna has a knockback. They have a lot of knockbacks that they can go ahead and utilize. I actually messed up. Sid has a knockback too with his ultimate. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to initiate onto Kog'Maw, just kick him back in the rest of the team and just finish him off because he can't cleanse that. He can't cleanse that knockback, or he can't even QSS that knockback. So if you're able to get Kog'Maw back into the rest of the mix, then there is nothing. There's nothing that TT Dragons can do. You do have that Omen of Death, but how long is Kog'Maw going to stay alive after that Omen of Death? Because it's going to be hard to just keep continuously kiting, because not only do they have that one knockback, they can just go ahead, use Jace knockback as well. Just knock him back into the rest of the team, knock him back into Karthus Defile, get him, make sure he can lay down those nice Skittles down onto the ground and just pretty much finish him off from there. But you could see the same case happening for TT Dragons. What they have to do, just make sure Kog'Maw stays alive. You see Shen get a nice Shadow Dash across to try to protect, maybe try to block away from Lee Sin. If Lee Sin hits that Resonating Strike, just try to move away from Kog'Maw. Make sure that if he initiates in, he would just initiate on maybe like the left side while Kog'Maw's on the right, and just keep him as far back as possible, because M5 know exactly how to get to Kog'Maw.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing I want to point out, which has actually worked out pretty well for TT Dragons, because you definitely want that Yorick pick when you have a Kog'Maw on your team. They just synergize so well together. And Yorick is actually one of the few champions in the entire game that actually does very well against Jace. They might even go for a 2v1 lane, I'm not sure. In fact, that would probably be the best idea, because Yorick does great in a 2v1, and Kog'Maw can get as much free farm as he wants when it is a 2v1 lane in top. If they decide to do that against Jace. But either way, it's going to be all right for them at the end of the day, because Yorick doesn't suffer as much as every other champion in the game against Jace. But the only problem is you can never shut out Jace fully. He is just too good right now.
Yeah, especially because he is getting nerfed in the next patch of what I've seen so far. And also, too, is that they really want to try to get that nice level 1 invade. All they did, put the word down so that at least they know now, if Diamond Prox tries to go up to get that blue, or if they see when the blue is active, they can try to steal it early. But they really want that invade, because if they get that early advantage, they can try to snowball in their control. But M5 just too good, knowing exactly when they're going to move in there, especially throwing those lay wastes, seeing exactly when they're going to move again in the invade, just making sure that he doesn't get hit by Zyra, gets caught. And right now, we could be seeing a 2v1 lane up top with Pinhead and Failure going up top, just to make sure that, Kog'Maw just stays as far away from trouble as possible.
Yeah, you see Alex Ish here just poking around with his layway, seeing if he can steal this blue Wraith away, and just about misses it. Does a decent amount of damage to Shen though, and obviously makes that a little bit longer, but he's going to get that red buff nice and easy. He's not going to lose any experience from losing the big Wraith. And yeah, this 2v1 lane is going to be good for Kog'Maw and Zyra. It's also going to help Shen get this red buff a lot quicker, which is always good for him. I don't think he'll have to use Smite now.
Yeah, meanwhile, I think Diamond Prox does have to try to use Smite unless he's going to try to take this all the way out. Yep, there's a Smite. Diamond Prox can finish it off. He does have Tempest. Will he go for Sonic Wave? Probably, just to make sure they can go ahead and pick it up. But if he doesn't find the right spot, he could use Safeguard. Does pop into that Sonic Wave. He's going to be looking for an early gank. Maybe on the Juduck, but right now, HYRQ bot and We Will Fail are going to be waiting around for Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox could be in a bad situation here as bot and We Will Fail are coming in. He has no vision of him. He's just kind of moving around. He does kind of spot him a little bit, moves out. He's just like, I don't feel safe in this situation. I just want to stay out of that as much as possible. We Will Fail getting hit by the blue buff. Just basically just a dance-off between both sides, just making sure that, one person doesn't handle it. And right now, though, Darian trying to get onto Pinhead. He could get first blood here, getting a couple auto attacks in. Here he's going to go ahead and switch it. There's the knockback. Not going to be enough, though, but here's a fight coming in mid lane. We Will Fail and HYRQ bot low on HP. Diamond Prox going to be able to pick up the kill. That is going to be first blood. Great job for Diamond Prox to be able to pick that up, and it's going to be 1 kill for M5. Meanwhile, though, Darian was able to completely take Pinhead out of lane, so already out early in the lane, on top of picking up first blood. Great job by M5.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they actually did lose the blue buff. I'm not actually 100% where that went. Did it go to anyone on M5? I don't think so. For some reason, I didn't actually see where that went. It might have even been given to Zyra. I think Zyra actually picked up that blue, and that's why it's completely disappeared now. Oh no, Shen has it. Shen has it. I lied. He managed to smite it away. So they did get the blue buff at least in that situation. But as he said, they lost first blood. Not sure if that's 100% worth it, especially because Lee Sin doesn't care that much about the first blue. Sure, it's important for experience and a little bit of gold, but Lee Sin can definitely recover from that. It's not the end of the world at all, and he's actually out leveling Hurtbot right now. Plus, Shen's blue is still up, so Moscow 5 could go for an invade themselves a little bit later on.
Yeah, you could be seeing that, but right now, though, HYQ are going to try to start this blue buff. You could be seeing Alex Itch try to do something crazy with it. Diamond Proc's already moving up there. They do know that it's going to be happening right now. HYRQ bot actually moves away from that, knows that they're kind of moving around the area. Diamond Proc's going to go ahead, try to see if he can steal it. Right now, they have no vision of it right now. TT Dragons could have this blue taken straight away from them as Diamond Proc's moving in, but HYQ bot going to move straight into Diamond Proc's. Here's a Shadow Dash going to move on to Diamond Proc's, but he's going to get the damage, and look how much damage Lee Sin is able to do, taking down Shen to about half HP and just try to move him away from this blue buff.
And this is actually amazing play right now for Moscow 5. I mean, at the start of the game, they saw the ward over at their blue buff, and they were like, right, there's going to be an invade on this blue buff. We're not dumb. When there's a ward there, we know someone's going to come and try and steal it away. That's why he saw Lee Sin playing a little bit skittishly. As he saw Zyra wasn't in top lane, Pinhead was all on his own. He knew something was up, so he kind of backed off. They played that out really, really well, even though they lost the blue buff. And then at the same time, Ghost Pepper had gone and put his ward up at the enemy blue buff, and they just went for a counter invade. So they didn't actually lose anything out from that, and they only gained from getting that first blood. And you can see this is what I was talking about this mid lane. Alex just dominates, Karthus dominates Diana really early on, but it's a little bit scarier for Karthus once she hits level 6. So we might see this lane switch around in just a little bit in terms of the advantage. But for right now, Karthus is completely out CSing.
Yeah, you can see right now, 33 to 24. If you actually look at the rest of the lanes, Yorick only has 10 CS, while Darian in that 2v1 lane has 30 actually right now. And he might actually get ganked though, as HYRQ bot is actually right around the area. Will he take out Darian? Darian's stuck in a 3v1 situation. He does get Shadow Dash, stuck in a bad spot. Gonna get completely taken out. Will he? HYQ bot is taken out at the same time, so it's going to be a 1-to-1 trade. So that's going to be big for M5. At the same time, though, you could be seeing them try to push down this bottom. Meanwhile, though, M5 goes ahead, knows it. 6-minute dragon, no problem.
That was just really nicely played. They see Shen in the top lane. They know Yorick is completely pressured in the bottom lane. There was no way he was going to react to that one. And Diana had actually just gone back, I think. So that was just absolutely perfect timing from M5. And that is the earliest dragon I've seen in so long. I know M5 love early dragons on Lee Sin, on Diamond Procs. They always usually get to around level 6 at 9 minutes. And then he just goes straight for it when he has a Wriggles. But they just like, you know what, we can do this with 3 people, why the hell not? And they just do, and that gets them ahead so far in gold. You can see right now, 2,500 gold ahead, I believe, and that's pretty insane to say the least.
Yeah, because they know that Karthus, especially, even though it's early Karthus, he still is able to do a lot of damage. Lay Waste on his own does right now about 160, 170 damage per Lay Waste, and that's on a 0.96 second cooldown. That's huge. That's absolutely huge for trying to take out dragons. So they're able to just take it down very, very quickly, effectively. The only 2 people to stop it was a low mana, low HP Diana or a Yorick that's pretty much been shut out in lane. Only 10 CS coming out from Yorick right now. 10 CS, 7 minutes into the game. M5 doing a great job in shutting down Yorick.
Yeah, I mean, the most impressive thing about this entire ordeal is the fact that Jace is actually out-CSing Cogmore right now, which you just don't expect in a 2v1 lane. And now Darian's being jumped on under tower, and yeah, you could take this one.
Yeah, and Darian's getting jumped down. There is a flash, followed by a Shadow Dash. Darian just trying to figure out how he can escape. Drops down the acceleration gauge, just trying to move him back and forth. Knocks back Shen. Will he get taken out? Yes, Juduck going to be able to finish it off with a nice Lunar Rush, and that's going to be a kill for TT Dragon. Just trying to move in a little bit more, but right now, though, you know, they were able to go ahead, take out Darian. What are they going to do afterwards? You know, what are they going to do to maybe try to get Yorick back in the game, maybe try to have him CS a bit more? Because all he has right now, Doran Shield, Boots of Speed, Sight Ward, and 2 health potions in comparison to Darian right now, who has double Doran's Blades, has Ruby Crystal, Boots of Speed, might be able to pick up a Phage soon, eventually, or maybe even Heart of Gold, depending on which path he really wants to take. But right now, major advantage up top, even after the kill. The kill didn't even go to Yorick, though, either. It just went straight to Diana.
Yeah, which is really bad, and Yorick is just going to fall behind so much after this. I mean, he's going to be able to farm, like, he is going to be able to farm regardless, but the fact is Jace is just going to have complete reign of that lane. Like, the fact that Jace can completely free farm, force Yorick under his tower constantly, it's just going to mean that Darian gets further and further ahead as the game goes on. You see the harass already on Yorick, and oh, it's just a hard lane right now for Yorick. I feel very bad for Yamato. Jace is pretty dominant there. But did you see how long it actually took them to take Jace out with 3 people? Diana had to use her ultimate so many times. I swear Juduck used his ultimate around 4 times in that. I don't know how, like, but that was absolutely ridiculous, the amount of damage they had to output onto Jace. And if they didn't have Diana actually right there with them, missing all her CS in that mid lane as Alex constantly was pushing up towards the tower, then there would be no way they would have taken out Diana in that position. That's how strong he is right now.
He is really, really strong right now. They just didn't have the damage just completely make sure he's down. And meanwhile, though, Diamond Proc's taking one of the golems up top, so he's just denying Shen a little bit further. Actually going ahead, taking out the Wraith as well. Just that counter jungling that Diamond Proc is so known for, just pretty much moving straight in, just taking whatever he wants to. Does not care at all, and he's just going to move around, take everything out of Shen's jungle. Shen's going to move back and see 3 Wraiths and a small golem, and that's it. And Diamond Prox is moving in, actually misses completely on the Juduck, but no problems at all, just going to move down, start moving down towards the bottom part of his jungle and farm a bit more. And right now, though, Shen just, even after taking all that mid XP, still just hit level 6.
Yeah, and this is actually very dangerous. Genja and Ghost Pepper were right underneath the tower there, and if We Will Failure there was there a little bit earlier, you might have been able to catch them out with those grasping roots. He doesn't quite have level 6 yet, which is big because those Strangled Thorns are just amazing. The AoE on Strangled Thorns is huge. Like, it's very, very hard not to get hit by it. And oh no, We Will Failure pushing out just a little bit, but backs off just in time. Gets all the vision he needs on Lee Sin, and they're going to be safe for another day in that bottom lane. And oh, Shen is actually just waiting right here. Will he taunt over the wall? Ghost Pepper could get caught out, but the taunt actually misses. Juduck isn't going to be able to get over there as well. Actually burns his ult straight away to just get onto Diamond Prox. And will they actually be able to make anything out of this? I'm not sure. Nice slow onto Genja, but no, they'll just back off.
I was going to say, Alex Ich is at level 10 right now, actually halfway towards level 11, actually going to try to move towards Juduck. Not going to really do too much damage. I was going to say, you could ultimate straight in, and they could try to start the team fight 4v3. They do have a bit of an advantage that way if they go ahead and do that. And Genja picking up 3 Dorn's Blades, going that old meta that we're so used to seeing M5 do, but they kind of strayed away from it a little bit, mainly because of the Dorn's Blade nerfs. But, just going back right at that, just trying to say, you know what, we're just going to keep going with this. Just keep going with the triple Dorn's Blades on our AD carries, and Genja just going to see if he can push towards the tower because he knows that Kog'Maw backed. He's going to see if he can deny him yet more CS. If you look at it, 63 to 81 in favor of Genja.
Yeah, and Kog'Maw actually picked up a Wriggles Lantern here. It seems like Pinhead really loves that Wriggles Lantern on his AD carries. We pick it up all the time. But my personal opinion on Wriggles on like AD carries is it's fine on certain ones, but on Kog'Maw and on Vayne, people you really need to just farm up completely on and get your items as early as possible. It can really actually end up hurting you quite a lot because that is a lot of gold you're investing into that item that doesn't necessarily help you with your DPS later on in the game. I mean, it's got decent stats all around, but we'll see if he can make the most of it. And Juduck diving straight into Alex on the tower does have to actually burn the exhaust there. But Juduck's going to be able to walk away from that one just fine.
Yeah, and the Wriggles, I mean, looking at it in a perspective, your team is about 4,000 gold behind 12 minutes into the game. You have to try to get something, try to have at least a glimmer of hope. And you're not CSing very well. Maybe you want to try to pick up and start going directly towards that Infinity Edge so you can do more damage in team fights earlier. But with the Wriggles, you're kind of delaying that a little bit. You do have a little bit more in terms of doing damage to dragons, but they're not actually able to do that. But meanwhile, though, talking about dragons, Diamond Prox, Ghost Pepper are going to see if they can do that on their own. And they could try to move back for it right now, but Juduck trying to initiate on the Alex Ich. Alex Ich in a bad spot, throws down the wall. He's going to see if he can just kind of constantly dodging him, but no, not going to be able to do that. A Shadow Dash going to move in. That is going to be a kill for TT Dragons. Here comes the ultimate Requiem, going to go straight down. Same with Danglethorn, and Pinhead almost gets completely taken out by that Requiem, level 2 Requiem, and right now it's going to be dealing about 400 damage, so they do have to watch out for that. As Genja just in a full run right now, they're just completely trying to take him out. Will he be able to do it? No, he will not, as they just pretty much back away there, so it's going to be 1-0 advantage in favor of TT Dragons. But meanwhile, though, M5 just says, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go and just try to take Dragon itself anyway. Forget it. Like, you guys just backing away. We're just going to try to take it. And we could be seeing yet another team fight. Shadow Dash going to miss on the Diamond Prox as Diamond Prox uses Safeguard, moves over on the Ghosted Pepper, does not connect with the Resonating Strike. And that could have been a quick kill onto Kog'Maw if he was able to land that.
Yeah, that could have been very, very dangerous to Kog'Maw right here. But as you can see, Genji is completely out-CSing him right now, 101.71, so around 30 CS ahead in general. You can see in the mid lane as well, one of the best things in this game for M5 is the fact that Diamond Prox has constantly been in Shen's jungle. Diamond Prox honestly has been farming Shen's jungle a little bit more than his own, and that's allowed Alex-ish to constantly take his own race and own wolves, and he's getting so far in CS right now. He is sticking to that, you know, 10 CS every minute. And it is really going to pay off for Karthus, because everyone knows if you manage to hit that 10 CS every minute on Karthus, you are going to be a force to be reckoned with at around, you know, 20 minutes moving into that mid game.
Yeah, especially with that Rod of Ages right now. I was able to pick it up a minute ago. 13-minute ROA, always scary on a Karthus. But let's talk a little bit more about top lane and how dominant Darien has been up top. 110 CS to 44. What is Yorick able to do? Ruby Crystal, no Magic Mantle, might be building towards the Spirit Visage, but has almost no gold to be able to work with. Meanwhile, though, Darien has those double Doors Blades, follow with the Phage, could be getting some more items on top of that. Judog actually getting stuck in a bad spot. Misses, though, with the Q, and Darien trying to get some extra damage in. Will he be able to finish him off? Alex-ish does not have Requiem, so Judok going to be able to survive. Down to about 400 HP as We Will Failure. Going to be able to ward that place. Darien going to know exactly where that ward is. And here we go. Dragon going to go down. Will M5 take it? It almost seems assuredly, because Failure can't really do much about it. He really can't do anything there. Diamond Proc going to take it. 15 minutes, so 21. Dragon's going to be back up, and M5 just dominating straight through.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 minutes ago, usually you would have seen like the first Dragon of the game for the majority of teams. Majority of teams in the scene kind of take Dragon around 12-30 minutes into the game. Moscow 5 take their first one at 6 minutes, the second one at 15. They're not really too bothered. Picking up a lot of gold early on and all. Alex-ish actually might get caught out here, but Hercbot, level 7 to level 12, he knows better than that, and he's actually just going to let him get away. And will Alex-ish actually manage to 2v1? Here we go, let's see. Nope. Nope, they're not going to fight him. They are terrified of that Karthus, and can you blame them, honestly? Can you blame them at all?
Especially because, too, if you look at Yorick only had about 53 mana, so he could really only throw one gold down and just kind of auto-attack, just trying to hope that Karthus gets taken out. Here comes Requiem coming down, going to be able to take out Kog'Maw at bottom lane. Diamond Prox and Darien just completely destroying them. Look at the amount of damage that Jace and Lee Sin were able to do onto Zyra and Kog'Maw. That's going to be a quick kill there. And they can go ahead and take down this turret there, just trying to make it the second turret of the game, taken out by M5.
And this is actually going to be the great chase on Alex-ish. You can see he's being chased all around top lane. He's got the flash. He's got the wall of fame. He's actually going to get away from this. I cannot believe it. They had a Yorick, a Shen, and a Diana chasing him. But no, it's not over for them yet. He's still going to get chased by the Yorick. The Diana is going to come around through the jungle. But meanwhile, TT Dragons have to back off because there's enough pressure in mid. And Alex somehow gets away from that. Amazing.
I mean, you gotta remember too, the Trololo guy was Russian. So I mean, if you look at it right there, you know, just kind of doing a little bit of Trololo, just kind of moving around all the way through the top lane, moving down, just kind of escaping, just still being alive. 161 CS still by Alex-ish, just going to be able to keep constantly farming. Look at the amount of gold he has right now. 1536, so once he finishes up the wave, he can go pick up that needlessly large rod, and that is where Karthus is really going to start hurting the enemy team, especially with Wheel of Failure, just level 6. Just level 6.
Oh my god, that is really, really harsh. Ghost Pepper got 2 levels on top of that, and yeah, Zyra has been like roaming around in his own jungle so much. He hasn't been in that bottom lane to pick up any of the experience, and Jay suddenly found him out in the wilderness. No chance for Zyra here. Will be forced to flash over the wall, and will Darien actually chase him over there? Oh, doesn't quite hit the range, and We Will Failure walks away for another day, but denied even more experience. Like, there's no way you can sit in the lane for a second without being harassed like that.
And actually, Genja trying to hit onto the arrow. Unfortunately, the arrow is not going to go in. It's just going to go straight out, go towards Moscow, completely all the way the other direction. Unfortunately, not going to hit onto anyone there. And that's going to be a wasted ultimate. But it's going to be back up in 73 seconds, so not really going to worry about that too much, considering how much of a gold advantage they have. 18k to 25k in favor of M5. So just looking at them just kind of keep compounding, keep increasing their gold lane. They don't have to worry about it too much either, because in late game, they have Ashe, they have Karthus as well, so they don't have to worry about too much about the late game, because they know that, hey, if we get to late game, we have a major advantage right now, and at the same time, we have Ashe that has like great range, going to be able to kite a lot of the team members of TT Dragons. At the same time, Karthus is going to be able to do all that damage, considering with that needlessly large rod and ROA, just going to be completely destroying them. Here comes Requiem, going to go straight down on it. Who's he going to take out? There he comes.
Oh, very nice.
Soon coming out from Ghosty Pepper, but there is the Stranglethorn, as HYRQ bot is actually going to be coming back. Ghosty Pepper in a really bad world right now. Diamond Proc's going to be there. Will he be able to rescue him? Pinhead trying to take it down, one more auto attack. Ghosty Pepper continually moving back and forth. Will he survive? There he goes, the passive, gonna be able to take him out. Genja moving around, trying to get a couple of those auto attacks with Frost Shock up onto HYRQ bot, and unfortunately gonna back away from that. But great job by M5 actually picking up that 2-for-1, despite Shen moving in and moving it into a 3v2 fight for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was great play by Ghost Pepper all around. He did obviously burn his flash early on, so there was hardly any way he could have escaped. You could see actually one great thing he was doing, he was keeping his Zephyr. He wasn't using it for a slow at all, he was actually just keeping it. And that's really great for Janna, because it allows you, obviously, it ignores your all unit collision, so you can just walk through the minion wave and juke them around that way, and you obviously gain the extra movement speed as well. So sometimes it's a lot better, especially if you're in a lane fight like that, to actually just keep that Zephyr off of cooldown at all times to get the passive bonus from it. Can really pay off at the end of the day. And yeah, that was just great play all around.
Yeah, it was great play, and I'm one of the people, I know that a lot of viewers are like, where did Diamond Procs come from? And, he was just kind of waiting out in the brush, just kind of like Pokemon, and then Wild Diamond Procs appears, suddenly just goes around, takes out
out of nowhere, Lee Sin.
Completely out of nowhere, Lee Sin. I mean, he is a little bit blind, but he was able to go ahead and help out Janna there. That was still a great monsoon coming out from Ghosty Pepper to try to pick up the kill on We Will Failure. And M5 just absolutely just doing all, despite only being 6-4 in kills, they're just dominating, moving straight through in the jungle, just doing everything they need to do in order to just completely control the map.
Yeah, I mean, 9,000 gold ahead. They only have 2 kills more and 1 turret more. That is how dominant they are in CS and Dragon objectives and stuff in this game. They have just been... like, there's nothing that TT Dragons are having an advantage in this game at all. You can see the CS right now, 183 to 130, and that's the AD carries. 209 to 156, and 144 to 90. None of the lanes for TT Dragon are doing any good. Now, this is a bit desperate. This is what you see from a lot of EU teams when they're, like, very far behind, is all group together and push mid.
Yeah, you can see that right now. Actually, Dragon's going to be up very soon. Just spawned right now, actually, at 2105 mark. And they're just pretty much just trying to push straight out. And here's an interesting thing. Juduck getting first item Lichbane, with only 132 ability power. Not really going to do too much for that Lichbane, but once he starts stacking a little bit more of that ability power, he's going to be able to do massive wonders with that, especially if he gets those 2 auto attacks in first, and then gets the Moonsilver Blade on top of that Lichbane. That's going to be a ridiculous amount of damage, but they have to get to that point first, and right now M5 is not even allowing that to happen. We Will Failure just hit level 8. Just hit level 8. If you look in, we have 13, 13, 9, 11, and 15 coming out from Karthus. Karthus almost level 16, 21 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's the 3rd dragon taken by Moscow 5 already. You can see Yorick finally pick up the Aegis of the Legion, so he actually has a use in this game now. He's just an aura whore pretty much for his team. He's just going to ult Cogmore and, use that Aegis of the Legion as best he possibly can. And, but just compared to what Jace can do in these fights from now on, it's just going to be absolutely ridiculous. And wow, Moscow 5... 22-minute Baron duo, and this is actually going to work out.
This is absolutely insane, right? They do that. They have no wards around the area, so they could just easily pick this up. 3-man actually. Ghost Pepper going to be able to go and assist a little bit, throw a couple of those Eye of the Storms to help out. Doesn't even have to use Monsoon to help him out. And there's just instantly Baron. Right now, the rest of the team's just wondering what's happening. As they get the engage right there, Omen of Death going to be popped on the Cogmall. He's almost getting completely taken down. Darian going to be able to pick up the kill. Alex Ish has to flash out. He's getting very low on HP. Juduk going to be able to finish him off as Yamato Mabidi almost gets taken out. There he goes. He's down. Juduk very low on HP, but there's one more auto attack coming out from Genja. That's going to be a quick kill. That's a triple kill coming out from Genja as HYRQ bot almost gets taken out. Not going to be enough though, as M5 just goes straight through, picks up that 4-for-1. Red team agrees to surrender, so TT Dragons are going to lose this first game, and M5 is going to win. They're going to have that 1-0 advantage, and in a very dominating fashion. And there's the CV right there in the middle of the base.
Yeah, I mean, that was just absolutely ridiculous, that last team fight. Ash, I actually just checked right at the end, had around 3,000 gold in the bank, so could have just gone back and picked up a Phantom Dancer over that, and had Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer at 23 minutes into the game, which is never a great thing, honestly, to have to play against. But Moscow 5 just doing such a great job, showing everyone how you don't need kills in this game, you just need objectives. And kills in League of Legends help you get objectives. That's why you want a team fight, not because you want to, you know, just kill them all and then leave them alone, but just to gain map control, gain objective control, and just push your lead further and further. And I think they